Now, what we also have no, or rather, what we also have learned is the decaying or the depreciation, right? So we also have what we call decay, or when they say something depreciates. So now to understand in terms of what does depreciate means. So basically it is when the quantities decreases basically by a percentage of the amount present. For example, if you have an asset such as your house or your car or your machine, it is basically when it loses its value, right? So and you know that now what usually causes this, so basically this is when something lose its value, right? And what are some of the key pointers of these? It is usually due to inflation, right? It is due to inflation, right? So that what basically makes uh your certain amount of or your machine or your car or your house to lose value, right? For example, in a car, it is because of the introduction of probably some of the other cars which have the best specs comparatively to the one that you have. So the one that you have, if it's a 2015 model and it's 2023, obviously it is going to now lose its value because of the market. Now, basically, now we also now have a way in which we now calculate in terms of the depreciation value, right? We usually, or sometimes they usually refer this to the reducing balance method, right? This is the reducing balance method. So basically now, how do we calculate that now? It is usually calculated by A, which is equals to P into 1, subtract your N, multiply by your I. Altogether. And then now this is also called a straight line depreciation, right? Now, this is how, therefore, it also, now you can also find it now where it is also depreciate in terms of now A, which is equals to P into 1, subtract your I, and to the power of N, right? Now, this is how we then use the formula to calculate if certain assets have lost their values, right? Now, we're going to briefly look at some of the example of all this that we have discussed about now. All right. Now let's look at this particular example. Now, firstly, let's say now example one. They say basically uh, a car worth 120,000 depreciates at a rate of 12%. Simple interest per annum. How much will the car be worth after 5 years, right? Now, in terms of now, what we are going to do now here is basically now we are going to check in terms of what is it that we need to do. What we are going to do here is basically we are going to start here. Firstly, now we are going to identify what we are given. So now we have this value here. Let me use a nice color. We have this value of this amount here, right? So, and this amount basically, it is the amount of money which this car was valued 5 years ago, isn't it so? So therefore, which means this is going to be your principal amount. Are we okay? And now you are having this which represent your interest rate that you have received, and this which represent your N, right? So basically now, if you can come and check now, this is, do you have your value of your A, the accumulated amount? No, because you don't know in terms of how much was the car worth after 5 years. Now, do you have the P, which is the principal amount? Yes, we have the principal amount, which is 1,000, or rather, which is 120,000, right? And now, do we have the interest? Indeed, we have our interest, which is 12%. And then how can we then write our 12%? Our 12% is same as 12 over 100, which is same as what? Which is same as 0.12. And then now we have the number of years. Now we have the number of years, which is your 5 years. Now we are going to now use this formula to calculate this value of the car. So this is going to be A is equals to P into 1 subtract your I multiply by your n, right? So here you multiply by your n because they said this, it is what? It is in simple interest, right? So if they said it was in compounding interest, therefore we are going to use this formula, which is going to be P, which is 1 subtract I to the power of n if it was in compounding, right? So now let's continue then. Now let's see. Now, do we have our principal amount? Our principal amount, it is 120,000 into 1 subtract what is the interest? The interest is 0.12 multiplied by what? Multiplied by 5. So what is going to be the value of the car after 5 years? So the value of the car after 5 years, it is going to be worth 48,000, right? The car is going to be worth 48,000 at the end of 5 years or after 5 years. Right. Now, let's again do the second example now where we are doing with the same car, but now the difference is we are saying this now it is on your reducing balance method, right? Now we still want to calculate it. Now, basically now when it's on the reducing balance method, now we are going to use the depreciation formula for the compounding, isn't it so? Now, let's see in terms of what can we do or what can we calculate here. Now, this is going to be now A, which is equals to P into 1 subtract your I to the power of n, right? Now, then let's see in terms of what we have. Again, we still have this 120,000, which is our our principal amount or the cost of the car 5 years ago. We still have this 12, which is the interest, and we still have this 5, which is the number of years, right? So then we are going to come in here and say this is going to be 120,000 into 1 subtracts the interest, which is 0.12 to the power of what? This is going to be to the power of 5. And now what is going to be our accumulated value? The accumulated value now, this is going to be 63,327 833,002, right? Are we together now? Which means now therefore the value of this new car is basically going to be 63,327 82, or rather 83 cent, right? So now this is going to be when we use the reducing balance method to calculate in terms of the value of this car. Now let's look at number 3, 1,000 to 5,000 in 4 years. What is the rate of depreciation? Correct it to 2 decimal place. If it is calculated firstly with the A, which is your your straight line method, which is going to be the simple method, and then now after that, which is the reducing balance method, which is the depreciation method, right? Now let's see in terms of what can we do to calculate that. Now let's continue then. Now, firstly, what we are going to identify, firstly, we need to identify whether do we have the accumulated value. Now, we know that, or we are given that this value after 5 years, it accumulates or it depreciates to the value of 5,000, right? So, which means this is going to be the accumulated value after 5 years, whereas this is going to be the principal amount because this was the value of this machine when this is 4 years before, right? This was the value of the machine, isn't it so? Now what they require us to do is basically now to calculate the rate, and now we're given that this was calculated in what? In 4 years, right? So this is going to be the number of years. So which means if we can check, we have the A, which is the accumulated amount, which is going to be 5,000. We also have the P, which is going to be close to what now? The 10,000, which is the money that is or the money that the machine used to cost 4 years ago. And do we have the I? No, we don't have the interest. And the N we do have, because this is said that it is after 4 years, right? Now, so this is going to be the first part, which is your A. Now here they said the straight line method. So this is going to be A is equals to P into 1 subtract I multiplied by N. Now let's continue and see what is it that we can have here. So now what we are going to have here is we are going to say firstly, your accumulated amount is going to be 5,000 is equals to this, which is 10,000. 1 subtract the interest that we are looking for multiplied by 4 years, which is the number of years that we are given. So now how are we then going to calculate this? We are going to start here. We are going to divide both sides by what? By 10,000, right? If we divide both sides by 10,000, what is going to happen? Basically, this one and this one is going to they are going to cancel each other. So what you are going to be left with, you are going to be left with 1 subtract 2. Then now what you are going to also have here, in this side, it is going to be 1 subtract I multiply by N. Isn't it so? Because now you've removed the brackets. And now what you're going to do is you can take this one, this side, which is this one, and transpose it this side. So this is going to be 1 over 2 subtract 1, which is I multiply by the N. Remember the N we already have, which is what? Which is 4 years, right? Now then, after here, what you are left with this side, you are left with negative I multiply by 4, right? So, and what is going to be half subtract 1, it's same as half, right? So this is going to be same as your this is going to be same as negative half, and then which is equals to your I, which is the negative I multiplied by your 4. Right now, if we continue in this manner, then you can divide by 4 this side, you can divide by 4 this side, right? So which means now what is going to be your value of your I? If you calculate the value of your I, it is going to be given by what? It is going to be given by 0,125, right? And now because this must be in rate, so you then going to do what? We are going to multiply this by what? By 100%. And when you multiply this by 100%, what you're going to get, the rate that you're going to get, your I here, it is going to be given by 12,5%. Right now, that is going to be the first one. That is going to be the first part. Let's try and write the second part in here. Remember what we found here, this side, it was what? It was 12, comma, what? It was 12,5%. Now let's look at this other one, this side, and see what we are going to have. Now, here this is going to be A is equals to P into 1 subtract I to the power of N. Now, what we have as the accumulated value, it's still 5,000, right? Into this other one is 10,000. 1 subtract the interest that you've received. What is going to be the interest there? The interest that it is the one that we are calculating for, and the number of years it is for, right? So then we're going to divide by 10,000 this side, we divide by 10,000 this side again. So we are left with 1 over 2 this side. And what we are left with this side, it's 1 subtract I to the power of 4. Isn't it so? And now here, what we are going to do, look, we are having to the power of 4 here. So what we can do is we can look for the 4th root of this bracket if you want to remove that 4. And what you do on the left, you also do it on your right. So we are going to look for the 4th root, right? And when you're looking for the 4th root, this side, here it is going to be same as what? It is going to be same as your 4th root. This is 1 over 2. Then this other side is going to be equals to what? It is going to be 1 subtract your I, right? Then now you are going to take this 1 here, and then you are going to transpose it this side, right? There is no need now for you to write the brackets because you've already removed the exponent, right? So this is going to be what? This is going to be the 4th root of half subtract 1 is equals to your negative I. And if that's the case now, what is it that you are then going to have? You are going to multiply by a negative, right? So if you multiply by the negative, the answer that you're actually going to get here, your I is going to be given by 0 comma 1591 035, right? And because you are looking for percentage, you're going to take this and multiply it by 100%. So your interest that you are going to earn here, this is going to be 15 comma what 9% altogether. Then this is how we are going to calculate distance. Thank you very much.